What's going on, everybody? Jesse James Fitness here. Hope you're having a great day. Today's video is going to be all about how to increase your bench press. I recently went through a whole periodization of increasing my bench press and was able to get a 305-pound bench press after having a 285-pound bench press in only a matter of a month and a half to 2 months. So take notes. Let's get into this thing. We're going to start with the 3 tips on how to get a bigger bench press. Now, for the first tip, we're going to say have perfect form. So what you're going to want to do is do your bench pressing and make sure that your form is on point. Have someone film you, have someone tell you if your form is off, because you need to be brutally honest with yourself. I've said that so many times with so many things. So be honest with yourself and make sure your form is perfect. You want to make sure your scapula and shoulders are up and down and back, making sure that you keep a tight spine, and that way you get the most power and a great stabilizing base of your bench press. Next up, you want to make sure that your toes are either tucked back or you're on your heels like this, and that way you get a lot of leg drive, because leg drive is extremely important when it comes to your bench press. If you don't have leg drive, you're not going to be stabilized the whole entire time, so make sure you keep those legs nice and tight and have a firm base. Another thing that I had to play around with was my grip width. So don't go too narrow, don't go too wide. I think a few inches outside shoulder width to start is a great way to get used to bench pressing heavy, because if you jump too wide right away, you're probably going to keep your elbows too high and not tuck them enough. So you got to make sure that you have your elbows slightly tucked. That way your form is on point. Another quick tip for having better form is by putting a yoga mat on your bench press like this, or what you can do is put some thicker resistance bands around the bench itself. That way you have a nice grip. That way you can keep your arch nice and tight, and that way you have a great bench press. I think that just by fixing my form first already increased my bench press by like 10 pounds, because it made my bar path a lot easier than what it was before. So for tip number 2, it's going to be have better programming. Now, a few examples that you can do for your programming is a 4x4, a 5x5, a 3x3, or what I'm doing personally, which is a 3x5 and then a 2x3. So what I do is a 3x5 with about 75 to 80% of my 1 rep max, and then I do a 2x3 with 80 to 85% of my 1 rep max. So you can use your estimated 1 rep max. Just Google 1 rep max calculator. I'll actually link it down below where you can plug in your numbers, and I'll tell you how to do your programming down there. So another big thing with programming is something that I didn't realize for a long time, is that you don't want to train to failure, and if you do, it better be on your last set, because you want to be able to use the same weight across all your sets. That way your form stays perfect and nothing gets changed, and you don't get too fatigued. That way you fail other sets. If you're doing strength training programming, you don't want to be failing, because if you fail, it's going to mess up the whole rest of your strength training, and your strength is just going to plummet to the ground. You want to make sure that you're going 1 to 2 reps shy of failure, but you're also just not half-assing it, because if you're not pushing yourself, you're never going to get stronger. You have to be close to failure, but don't fail. If you do fail a set, or you don't get the amount of reps that you wanted to, take a step back. That way you can do it better the next time around when you're doing bench. Now for the third thing, that is going to be frequency. Now, a lot of people only hit chest once a week on Monday, like that's International Chest Day, but that's not the case what we're doing here. We're gonna hit chest twice a week. I would recommend doing a push-pull-leg program, doing push-pull-leg, then have an off day. That depends on your schedule, but that's just the ideal way to get most strength gains. Or at least, if you really want to get your bench press up, make sure you're hitting it twice a week, even if you're just benching twice a week. So by doing that, you're increasing frequency and making sure that your strength is never going to go down or be inconsistent. Your goal is to make the most steady line going up in your strength. I'd rather see someone be more consistent and just go straight up. It's hard, but it can be done. All right, guys, those are my tips for getting a bigger and stronger bench press. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys subscribe down below. I'm gonna do my best to get 2 videos out a week. Follow me on Instagram at Jesse James Fitness. And like I said, follow these tips. Make sure you guys are having perfect form, you're having good programming, and you are hitting it twice a week. So have a great day, guys. Peace. Follow me on Instagram at Jesse James Fitness.